Sorry about that. It only has half an hour time limit to these videos. Anyways, we saved the Mighty Nine, cheered Eddie. Who the hell are you people? Cried Richard, deeply surprised. Eddie, Peter, and Clara, catching their breath as they stopped in front of the Mighty Nine, introduced themselves to the confused team. We were campers at the camp at Pyramid Lake 5 years ago, said Peter. Don't you remember us? It took a few moments for the team to put the pieces together, but then they finally realized who the kids were. Eddie? Richard was somewhat delighted. Peter? Frank looked confused. Clara? Carly was furious. The three kids, especially Clara, shuddered as they realized the others still remembered the incident at Camp Pyramid Lake all those years ago. Who are these guys? Asked Reginald. Of course, Reggie, you weren't there, said Pedro. This is Eddie McDowell and the Burkhart twins, Peter and Clara. We were campers at the camp where you all first met each other, said Peter. What's going on here? Asked Carly sternly. We know what happened to your boyfriend, James Reitherman, said Clara. Might I add, he's extremely handsome, she added, blushing. The others, especially Carly, were shocked upon hearing this, but before anyone could answer, there they are! After them! Henderson was heading towards them in a machine tank, accompanied by other machine tanks behind him. We gotta hide, cried Frank. Dudes and dudettes, come close. Quick, cried Gary. I'll make a force field. Richie, make a smoke screen with your super speed. Richard saluted Gary. On it. As Gary created a force field, once the others gathered close to him, Richard ran in circles around them with his super speed. Within seconds, there was dust rising, and the Mighty Nine and the three kids disappeared from view. The machine tanks, getting closer, stopped as the soldiers and general shielded their eyes from the dust. By the time the dust cleared, the Mighty Nine and the three kids were nowhere to be seen. Henderson was surprised and very angry. Sir, they disappeared, cried a soldier. They were right here a minute ago. We'll find them! After them, yelled Henderson. But sir, they've gone, whined another soldier. What can we do? Without a word, Henderson ran the soldier through with his machete. Moaning, the soldier fell to the ground, dead. The other soldier stared in shock as Henderson, without a hint of remorse, glared at them. Any other contributions? Asked Henderson menacingly. Nobody dared to answer the general, but instead backed away several paces. They all looked beyond fearful. Search the desert! Bring me those mutated monsters and those thieving little bilge rats! Within minutes, machine tanks were going through the desert at full speed, full of soldiers holding out guns while looking for the Mighty Nine. One machine tank went past what looked like a rock cave, stopped for a moment, with the soldiers scanning the area, but then, finding nothing, continued searching the desert. In the rock cave, the Mighty Nine and the three kids were hiding in semi-darkness. However, they were not seen because they were invisible, courtesy of Gary. Are they gone? Asked Joey timidly. One of us should go and check, replied Gary. You're the one with invisibility powers, said Frank irritably. You do it, Gary. Yes, please do, added Richard. Still invisible, Gary went out to the mouth of the cave and looked around in all directions carefully, but found nothing. All clear. Gary materialized out of thin air, as did the rest of the team as he walked back towards them. Since Eddie, Peter, and Clara had no superpowers and were smaller than the Mighty Nine, they were carried to the cave. Eddie was riding on Frank's back, Peter was on Richard's back, and Clara was on Christie's back. At that moment, the three of them placed the three shaking kids on the ground, who tried to comfort each other. Carly, however, was still angry and suspicious and stormed up to them in a huff. All right, you three, she said angrily. What's going on here? And I want the truth. Catherine, said Christie indignantly, shielding the three kids from Carly. Give them a chance to explain themselves, said Richard sternly. And put a lid on your temper, said Frank disgustedly. Carly growled menacingly at Frank, who promptly hid behind Christie as well. Are you still angry about the smoothie incident from 5 years ago? Asked Clara. Because if you are, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to get you girls all filthy. And we're sorry about the mud incident with our remote-controlled cars, added Peter. It was an accident. Please don't kill us, cried Eddie, getting down on his knees. Frank, Richard, and Christy suddenly flashed back to that day 5 summers ago and realized, despite everything that happened, they were too harsh on those 3 kids. Actually, we're the ones who should be sorry, said Richard. It was just an accident. We shouldn't have yelled at you, little sugar plums, sighed Christy. We're sorry, said Frank, Richard, and Christy together. It was just another reminder of our cringy teenage years, said Frank, shivering. Isn't that right, Catherine? He turned angrily to Carly, who stood there sulking with her arms folded. Richard and Christy cuffed her on the backside. Hard. She yelped. I'm sorry too, sighed Carly, her anger fading. It's all in the past, and I was a real bitch as a teenager. I forgive you all. I just hope you can forgive me. Suddenly, Eddie, Peter, and Clara tackled Carly to the ground, laughing and hugging her. Of course they were willing to forgive her. Okay, you guys, cried Carly. Please, I can't breathe. Hearing this, the 3 of them got up and helped Carly to her feet. What's going on, you guys? Joey asked, confused. And how do you know what happened to James? And that we have superpowers? We witnessed the meteor explosion at Pyramid Lake, they said in unison. Everybody's eyes widened in shock upon hearing this. Eddie pulled out something from his pocket. It looked like an 8-track recorder. I got this 8-track recorder for Christmas when I was 10, he said. James accidentally activated it when he ran to the computer in a panic and knocked me over. By accident. What? Carly was confused. Just listen, said Eddie, and you'll hear what happened to James. He clicked a button and everybody listened in. Meanwhile, Sergeant Hicks and Mayor Goodman were heading towards Area 86 on Hicks's army motorcycle when he heard a voice coming from his walkie-talkie. He pulled over to answer it. Hello? Sergeant Roy Hicks, said Sergeant Parker. General Henderson says the mutant monsters have escaped Area 86 and are hiding somewhere in the desert. What? And a giant orange monster was attacking downtown Reno, and now he's in the middle of the desert. We need you to lead reinforcements there immediately. Roger, said Hicks briskly. I'm on my way. Over and out. He put his walkie-talkie back in his pocket and got back on the road, now heading back to Reno in the other direction, with a slightly put-out Goodman. But Roy, she said, that monster is Detective James Reitherman. Don't worry, Hicks assured her. As far as I'm concerned, they're not going to kill him. At least I hope not. I'm confused, said Goodman, remembering something. How did you even find out about the Mighty Nine? Some barman in Reno phoned the general's office and sent me and my troops to capture them. I believe the barman's name was Stanley. Stanley? Goodman's eyes widened in realization. Step on it, Roy. I want to have a word with this barman. Hicks nodded, and with that, he and Goodman sped off along the desert highway towards Reno as fast as they could go. To be continued.